Can you hear me now? Oh, Lord have mercy. Yes. Now we are on. Perfect. So glad. You'll notice that I still have my phone here as my camera. I haven't fixed the other camera issues um just yet. It's been a week. So yeah. Um I hope that you guys are having a good week. Thank you so much for showing up with me. I see some friendly faces in the comments, which I always appreciate. And Lisa is here today, and I saw Dawn, I know. Um, so thank you guys so much for showing up. I appreciate it. I know that we talked about um, oh, Brandon, your plumber had to say Brandon's having, I've gathered from different comments I've seen that he's having some work done on his house, which I feel for you because we just, what, 3 weeks ago had our basement waterproofed and it was nothing but problems. So I totally feel for you, but I'm glad it means that you can join the live. So anyway, I know that we talked about doing the iris, but I actually have not been able to locate it. I'm not 100% sure I have it. I'm going to get it, but since we are in the week of Easter, I thought that maybe it would be fitting to use the Lovely Layers Easter Lily. Um, and then this is the guide layer as well. Um, so I'm thinking maybe we'll play around with a little bit of the coloring with the lilies. I think that might be a good little technique to uh, kind of maybe give a try this week. And then you guys know I love to mix the new and the old. That's what I'm here for. So these sets are actually quite a bit older. This is but they're still available. The He is Risen stamp set and coordinating die, and then this is the old rugged cross stamp set and die. I'm not sure. I have an idea, I think, for what I want to do, and it involves the oh, why can't I think of it? The wood frame, but I haven't located that either. I am clearly not prepared for today. It is not. It's not been a. It's not been a very good week, but like I tell my son, there is always something to be grateful for in every day. So today, um, we're just going to concentrate on the, we're just going to be grateful that we have the opportunity to spend some time together. And we're going to leave it at that. So I miss you too, Dawn. I do miss you too. So, and then in addition to that, I've also pulled the garden lattice. This one has a base and a top. So I'm not 100% positive, but we might be using this. Um, Thank you guys so much for asking about my mom. Um, Sorry. My mom is home. Um, my mom is home and she is being made comfortable. That's where we're at. So I'm just going to be grateful for the time that I have. And totally not my intention at all. But I know that because of this relationship that we have online and you know that that we've built that relationship and I've spoke to you guys about my family. Um that I know that you asking comes from a place of genuine concern and love, and I appreciate that so much. But you guys also know that I try my very best to keep it real, and I don't want to lie to you. So, please keep the prayers coming. We need them. I appreciate them. And like I told Nathan, like there is something to be grateful for every day, even on the worst days. And today we're going to have a little bit of time to step back and just enjoy doing something that makes my heart happy, and isn't quite so heavy as everything everything else that's going on in my life. So let's let's see what we can get done. I'm not entirely sure what my design plan is, but I think we're going to start with, oh, and of course, this, you guys know, have you noticed, like in every video, this lovely layer of spring greenery is just like there milling about in the background. um, so yeah, I pulled it out because, again, I may want to use it. I'm not 100% sure. So right now, I think we're going to do some die cutting of the lily. Um, and so let me ask you guys a question. I did put up a video where we did the coloring on colored cardstock. And then traditionally, I typically color them out of white, and then I add colors with my markers. We'll probably still add like shading and things like that, but what would you prefer to start with? Like when you shop your own stash, do you reach for the your colored cardstock, or do you reach for white? I This is, and you guys know, like, this is the truth. When I started this, because I am cheap, 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 I'm a cheap chicken. I never bought colored cardstock because I invested in my distress inks. Um, so I always, like, I always just colored my own and then would add shading or whatever, because white, it was cheaper to just buy a ream of white than it was to buy the other one. So that's still what I kind of go toward. Also, if we do white, it might give us an opportunity to do like some stargazer type lilies, where it kind of fades off the pink and the white, um, or something else. So it seems like white. It seems like white is, I reach for white, but that's likely just habit. Rob and I totally get that. All right. Why don't we do why don't we do white? And then um we'll go from there. Okay. I'm gonna cut out all of the things. And I do want to look, I think these are, and maybe Lisa can correct me if I'm wrong. I think these are palms. Isn't that? I don't I'm not I was baptized Catholic, but I was not raised Catholic. But I do recall uh, my former mother-in-law putting palms underneath my bed. They were very much Catholic. Is that what they are? I think they're palms for Easter Sunday. I'm not Catholic, but I am Christian. So uh, anyway, I think that's what those are. But I also think that's why I pulled out the um, because this is two as well. It's just a little bit larger. Let's snag that guy too. Okay. Look, he's like, you use me so often, I won't even stick in here anymore. I don't blame you. All right, so then we got this and this. Every time I use Jen, you're hysterical. Jen is so endlessly talented. She is fantastic, and she has so many resources. If you've never been to her website, Jen Shirkus Creative Chick. So she's so talented. Okay, so let me pull out some white. Yeah, Dawn is my plant expert. I did see that you was it yesterday or today? Girl, my days are running together. Um, that you posted some pictures. Dawn has a beautiful garden. That's another way that she de-stresses. Um, and so she likes to get out there. All right. And where is my, if you, so I showed you the card um for the, well, I showed it to you, and then what did I do with it? Oh, I set it over here. Lord have mercy. So these layering guides, which will show you all the things, if you don't have the card, you can pull it up on the Honeybee website. That's usually what I do. But right now I'm using my screens to read your guys' comments and stuff, so I can't pull it up. But that is what I normally do. I just pull it up and look at it. Yeah, exactly. The layering guides that tell us what they are. So like now that we're doing things a little bit, I'm working for Honeybee in a little bit of a different capacity than I have for the last, whatever. How long has it been, Lisa? 7, 8 years? Um, I am kind of getting to see the product a little bit earlier than before. And now there's no like guide cards that come with them right out the gate. And I'm like, what do I do with this? How does this go? Like clearly I'm creative, but I'm not an engineer because I cannot I cannot figure out how they are supposed to go together. Okay, there we go. Now, tape. It's very difficult for me to keep tape on the side. Like I have these little frames. Can you see? I don't even know. Like just outside of the thing, there's like a frame that my camera hangs off of. Um, and I stick my extra tape there. But my daughter thinks they're stickers. So I have to hide my tape from her. But now, oh, I'm moving you. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to scoot in. But now I think I've hidden it from myself. You know, I've put it in a place for safekeeping, and it's safe from me. Unfortunately, I have other, I think this is Spellbinders tape, and I think this will do. Yeah, Brandon, you're not kidding. Dawn keeps trying to get me to she's like, someday you're gonna want to grow all these plants. And I'm like, girl, but I'm not. But I am not. But I do think that I've decided now that my little jelly bean is a little bit older. I think I might try to get out into the garage this summer and maybe get back to doing some furniture refinishing. We stopped after Caitlin was born because it was just too much with a little. But now, you know, she's 3.5-ish. So, oh yeah, all of you guys are like, no, you're just like me. I have a Monstera that I've kept alive since it was little, and um, I have a Christmas cactus and a poinsettia. Um, and then what's the other one? Dawn would know. It's a tropical Oh, Dawn, I'm going to say it wrong. You know I am. Altherium? It's a tropical flower that's red. It was one of the ones you're supposed to be able to like water with ice cubes for people with black thumbs like me. Um, and that one has managed to stay alive. I even have a bud on that one. That's a miracle. Okay. Last time I had time to do the die cutting beforehand, but this time I do not. I apologize for shaking the desk, which I will most assuredly do again when I do the die cutting. Oh, Debbie, you couldn't even handle herbs, dude. I just bought. My son has a they do like a fundraiser, a plant sale fundraiser. So I was like, oh, maybe I could do, the herbs or whatever. And so I bought them, but I am also nervous that I will not be able to keep up with them. Yeah. Okay. What Dawn typed in there. That's what I have. Anthurium. Am I saying it right? So Dawn, if you guys don't know, I'm sure it's probably like well-known public knowledge that Dawn owned her own stamp company for years. And I was on her design team. God, forever ago. All of this is so long. We're so old. So anyway, she did this like modern floral series, which was fantastic. All of her stuff is fantastic. But it was the I can say it now, anemones. Anemones. Am I saying it right? I have to double check with Dawn. And I could not for the life of me. I was like, anemone, like what is the name of the flower? I could not say it. It's not an orchid, but Bonnie, you're not too far off the mark with the feeding of them, like the watering with the ice cubes, because orchids are that way as well. So I have fake plants that I have to dust, so maybe not. Yeah, I would not be dusting. No, I'm not. Well, I would rather dust than vacuum, if I'm being honest. Vacuuming is awful. All right. I think like these ones, they're just a little bit more intricate. You can tell my plates are super beat up. Oh yeah, the calla lily. I loved that calla lily set. I did ask for that, and it was beautiful. I love calla lilies. Okay, go to your home. We pick comments. There we go. We're just gonna run this through one more time. Okay. When I did was it my class, Brandon? I think it was. Yeah, because Eric was my husband was doing the he was moderating for me. And Brandon was like, hey Eric, here's a Christmas gift idea. Maybe buy her some new plates. Which Brandon he did, by the way. So thank you for that. But I I have not switched them out yet because I'm cheap. So until they break, like this is it for me. This is it. All right, so let's double check this. So this gives us one full lily and one side lily. And I think I want another. I think I want to do it again. So here, because I am lazy and I have learned from Dawn that I always want to do more die cutting than I think that I'll need. Because Dawn likes die cutting. I don't know what's wrong with her. Well, I mean, she has been my best friend for like, yeah, what, 15 years or something. 10, 10, 12, 12, 15. So clearly her taste is questionable. But she has told me that when I'm doing the die cutting, that I need to just go ahead and commit to doing multiple die cuts at one time, so that way I don't have to get the stuff all back out. And she's not wrong. Oh, you can't deal with them once they get warped. No. No, sir. I just keep rotating them around until I find something that works, that keeps me from having to change them. Dawn, that is 100% correct. Oh, Amanda, I totally appreciate you coming me to my defense. I am just teasing. I am just teasing. All right, let's go this way so I don't have to move these around and retape them. This is all the stuff. I'd rather scrub a toilet than dust. Girl, same. Same. At my parents' house, I'm one of three sisters, and so obviously, like, we're all together now, and have been spending quite a bit of time over there. And so we're, going through and kind of just, doing whatever needs to be done around the house in the interim. And my dad, who has never cleaned the house ever, because my mom took care of all of that. She takes care of everything. That's just what she does. So anyway, we were like, okay, what needs to be done around the house? And all, like, they were like, I can do this and I can do this or whatever. And I was like, I will do whatever needs to be done. Like, I will clean the toilets, but I do not want to have to vacuum and dust up in this house. So that's my job. I'm fine with it. I'm totally fine with it. I'm totally fine with it. All right. 5 extra plums on your desk from yesterday. Yeah, you know what though, Brandon? You just tuck them. Just tuck them into your die set, and then you'll have them for the next time, so you don't have to cut 5 more. Or sometimes, if I'm feeling fancy about my pictures, I'm just going to go ahead and do this twice because we ended up having to do it twice last time. Yeah, see, you do end up using them. But I use them sometimes, like if I just have 1 or 2 extra, like I'll still color them and then I just use them as like staging in my photos. You don't give me a hard time. I know we're in an awkward position here. Oh, that's the problem. I'm too far over. Stand by. I wasn't. I was too far over and it didn't like it. Dawn yells at me all the time. She's like, girl, stop trying to shove your sandwich through. I'm doing it. Let's scoot it over. Okay. Now, will you stop? There we go. Will you stop being awful? Okay. And I think that should be it. Oh yeah, see, these came out much easier. This is questionable, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, let's get rid of this. I cut some apples and loved how they look so much. I hate to make a card with them because they didn't work with my chicken. Fair. I just did a card the other day, and actually the video will be up. And it was like a little bunny. And then I wanted to put him in a little scene because I thought, well, that'll be cute, and I'll be able to combine, just some different stamp sets or whatever, and get like a little bit of a different look. And so I put like some little mushrooms and flowers and stuff in the background just to like fill up the scene. And then after the fact, because if you guys watch my videos, you know, like, I want all the information, so I will, like, Google all the things. I After I had already done it, I went back and looked, and, turns out that mushrooms are toxic to bunnies. So, yeah, they probably shouldn't be on the same card together. Don't feed your bunnies mushrooms. You'll kill them. Okay. Hi, Gina. Okay. And that's that. Now, you guys know I like to sort my little pieces parts and see what I got going on here. So I usually will, all right, not that I don't love chit-chatting with you all. Um, I am in Northeast Ohio, Cindy. Yes, I am. I'm in just outside of Cleveland. And it is cold today. It is Spring keeps tricking us because it seems like, oh, it's going to be warm. And then we have like one warm day and then it's thunderstorms. And then I have to wear winter coats again. It's kind of trash, honestly. So all of our trees are blooming, but it is a whopping 41 degrees here today. So Dawn and I frequently laugh when we are on the phone together about the difference between her cold and my cold, because they are not the same thing. Okay, did I miss it? Where is Cindy from? I did miss it. Linda, I do know that you're in Parma. Okay, now I gotta go back. Sorry, you have to look at my profile. Oh no, she didn't say. I didn't miss it. Okay. Sandusky and Oberlin. I have been in Oberlin one time. Um, I had a friend in, well, God, I think we were in middle school, um, that her dad lived out there. Yeah, 44, I bet. It's so, I mean, it won't be like that forever, I know, and eventually we'll get nice weather, but in the meantime, it's cold. All right. Those are all three different pieces. This is the same. This is the same. The same. The same. Thanks for stopping by, Jen. I always appreciate you. She's so supportive. All right. So that's that. Now we got everything sorted. What colors are we feeling like for the lily? Yeah, Hollows is really close to me, Linda. Very close. I used to go there with my girlfriend Weta, but I haven't seen her in forever. Um, Sometimes, when you have littles, it just happens that way. Okay. So let's pick a color. We've got yellow, we've got blue and purple. I don't, do lilies come in blue? I mean, I know it's our card and we can do whatever we want, but I would like to. 55 in Milwaukee. Oh, with a high of 67. That sounds lovely. Orange and teal. I think I did an orange and teal one, Dawn. I think I did. Um, Blue and purple again. A blue purple one. All right. Brandon, I'm going to look and see quickly what kind of lily you're talking about. These are all. Are these real? There's a pink purple tiger lily. This is more of like a blue violet. Is that what you're talking about? Like a blue violet? Let's get me a drink. Okay. So we've got some votes for yellow. We've got some votes for this blue purple. I think yellow is more, well, blue purple, blue violet. All right. Okay, we'll give it a go. We'll see how it goes. Okay. I gotta make sure these are all my pieces for my big lily. Leaves. And this goes with my large lily. And these are all side lily. Oh my gosh, this is so crooked. Is this going to drive anybody else insane like this? My apologies. Oh, hi, Brenda. Thanks so much for stopping in. Brenda is another very, very talented colorist. There. Oh, that's better. Okay. So let's see what colors we can. You know what? Do you know what? Let me see what I got. Why don't we use some Olos? Yeah, Brenda is so, like Lisa had mentioned, her samples always fantastic. She's great. All right, so how do we feel about Olos? I think that we haven't used those before, and I did say I would try to mix it up. And they do have a blue violet family, so let me see if I can find those. Stand by. What do we get? We got a 47 that's down here. I do like that for contrast. 47 and a 45. And then 44 and 40, 44 and 42. Or I do like this too. This is more on the blue side. Maybe we'll bring in this 2-3 and this 2-6 just to see for a little variety. Okay, let's go with that. Oh, yeah, the Nashville Craft Retreat. Honeybee is a super sponsor for the Nashville Craft Retreat. I was supposed to be there teaching. I do not believe that I will be there now, considering the circumstances of my life at the moment. But it is a wonderful retreat. Erin is lovely. It's very well run. You will not be sad that you went. Okay, here we go. Let's see. I'm just going to stick with these ones for now and see how they come out. It's like our practice run. Okay, so let's get a little piece of all of our, okay, and then, oh, we do need to do this. We need to do the yellows for the center and a blue violet complement is a yellow orange. So let me go back here. And I think maybe this this family here. This yellow, orange, 2, 2, 3, and 2, 5. Okay. Yes, Dawn, we will teach again someday, hopefully together, as was our original plan for this year. And God was like, girls, you can't have plans. And that's okay. That is okay. We are going to make it through. All right. We have the 2.7, the 2.5, and this is where I get a little like, where did I put that? Who knows? Are they on the opposite ends of some weird ones? Maybe. Um, YO. And I don't see any other, and I know they have to be in here. Those are reds. This is probably the one thing that drives me the most insane because I have the half markers that it doesn't always make sense, like trying to find its counterpart. I think that should be good. Okay. Now I am going to take my face off of the screen so that we can just have this full screen and it'll be easier for you guys to see. Okay, so just want to make sure you can still hear me. Let me know if something has changed. And all right, we're going to layer these up. So that we can see where the shadows should be. I'm going to take my lightest color, which in this case, I will try to show the lid. And we're going to just go, oh, we need to be scooched over a little bit. And we're just going to go in and just kind of trace that with our lightest color. Okay. And then we're going to set this side and we're going to put this down. And this would have shadow, but we know from seeing it put together that this is actually going to sit here. So, okay, this comes over here. And since we know that this is going to sit behind this, we're going to start our darkest shading here. And this actually sits on top. And even though it is the most top layer, it does show on the card here as being darker. So we're just going to separate these out because there isn't really like a layer, you know what I mean? This one's darker than this one. So we're just going to be able to color that like how we would do where a place where 2 points meet. So this one is the one that is marked that we need to pay a little bit better attention to. So now that I have them marked, I am going to go in with my darkest color and come down like this. And again, I'm just going to follow this line where we want it to be the darkest. And then here you can see there's embossed lines. So that means these are going to show. Okay. So we're just going to add a little bit of flicking like right up the middle. And then we'll move on to our dark midtone. Yes, OLO, their intention was always to release more colors. they actually have all of their colors kind of predetermined. They've gone through, but in order to make sure it's not overwhelming, they are releasing them slowly. So here, where the lily is kind of dipped in, I did add just a little bit of just a little triangle of color with my dark midtone. And now we're on to the light midtone. Martha, this is the Lovely Layers Easter Lily. So again, we're just going to go right over top of what we got and extend it out a little bit. So we have very little white space left, which is perfect because that's going to be where our highlight is. And then the same thing, go over top of it because the alcohol markers, no matter what brand you're using, blend in the fibers of the paper. And so we want to make sure that we're going over top of those so that everything's blending really nicely. Something to note about Olos, this is our last color and our highlight color, is they are juicier. So because it's a free flowing ink. If you remember back to like when you were a kid and you used to like take your Crayola markers apart and you would have like this tube in the center, that is still how a lot of markers work. I'm not mad at this. I'm okay with this. I'm going to see. Hi, Cynthia. Um, about how it goes because I've never colored the lilies this color before. I'm going to see how it goes, and we'll go from there about adding our detail. So here we've marked it. So this is one where actually the only one you won't see is this one because that's this piece, but all these other ones you will see. So we're going to add shading to those. So we're going to go back to our darkest color. And then when you're coloring, you want to look at the shape of your object. So like if we were coloring this and I just came in and went straight across, it's not going to look right because there's clearly a natural curve here. So here, this is like where it's going to be the darkest, where it's bending out from. So I'm going to turn it so that I can kind of flick the color up and away. And then if I want it to be more, if I want it to look more curved, I can also add a little bit of shading here on the tip. And that's going to put this highlight right on this curve and it'll really look rounded. So then for this one, it's straight up and down, but we still want to follow those lines that are the shape of the petal here. So see, we're kind of rounding them in. And then here at the edge, it's got that dip. And we are just going to accentuate that dip to help give it a little bit more shape. You can also add a little bit more like roundness here if you would like, but you don't have to. You don't have to do any of this. This is just one example of a way to color it. So here, again, this is rounded. So I like to turn mine because I'm most comfortable flicking away from myself. And I'm going to follow that center and keep those strokes round. And then again, I'm going to add that from the edge. Here, I'm just going to fill this in because this is already where we marked those shadows. So I'm just going to fill that in. And then we'll move on to our dark midtone. And then right over top of everything that we've done, following that same shape and just extending it out a little bit. Okay. All right. I do love, well, you guys know Blue is my boyfriend. Blue violet is very pretty. I have never seen a lily this color, but I think it's going to be good. I'm just going to get this little white edge right there. All right. Oh, hi, Mari. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. I've been thinking about you. Yes, the Olos definitely do bleed more because of that free flow ink. Um, so this is the light mid-tone, and when we're coloring, we typically do see the most of our mid-tones. We see a little bit of the shadow and a little bit of the highlight, but most of the time, what you're seeing the most of is your mid-tone colors. Okay, and we're gonna go over that, extend it out. You can see we're keeping just a very little bit of white there. And then here, we're gonna do the same thing. When you get to, your lighter mid-tone, that's really oftentimes when a lot of the colors start connecting. So don't be afraid of that. Bye, Shelly. Okay. And then here, and then we're just gonna do the same thing. And I kind of like to do like little swoops back and forth following that shape, because the alcohol markers are transparent. That lighter color is going to lift some of that darker color. And so to help make it so that it is as kind of like organic as possible, I just go in and kind of do the flicks in both directions. Okay. So you can see how round these look now. And then I don't leave the white edge. So I will go in and fill this in kind of just around the edges while we, and in some cases this, the lightest color might not make the most sense. Sometimes you might want to use the darker one, but I do like to check and make sure, like I just go in there and double check this little guy, make sure we don't have any, um, gaps or whites that are showing through. And like that's where we're at so far. Bye, Linda. So here I can see, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. I'll try to hold it. There's a white spot right here that's actually on the edge, that has not been filled in. Like it just hasn't gotten down that far. So you can see it when it's up against the dark. So I'm just, before I move on to my little tiny piece, I am going to just make sure I go in and get that. Do they feel, it actually doesn't bother me to color with a smaller marker. Um, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure for some people it might. So this is the piece that's going to go here. So we're going to add the shading coming this way because the flower is cupped kind of like this. So we're going to add, this is going to be our darkest spot. And then we're just going to flick that down. In order to make it cohesive with everything else we've been doing, we are just going to add just a little bit of darkness to the edge. This one is going to be the lightest one that we've done because it is the petal bending backward. So this is going to be catching a lot more light. So we do still want to, go over that, but then extend it down. Same thing here. We want to extend it up. Up and down here. I'm going to get just a little bit of that edge and then the lightest color. Oh, well, Jen, I hope the tips help. Yeah, and Debbie, I am going to stand in for Dawn. But I am also sorry that you will not be getting her expertise, because even though we both do this for a living, we do definitely have different styles, but I will try my very best to represent her card style to the best of my ability. Okay. So this will go here, and then this goes here, and now we have to do the centers. So remember, we've talked about this before. If you're coloring on a non-porous surface, you do want to make sure that you're cleaning that. I, again, am cheap, so I am just using isopropyl alcohol and a little rag. I will just put some on there and then just clean it right up. I don't waste my colorless blender on these little bits because honestly, expensive. Very, very expensive. All right. So now we're going to set this aside, and we know that this is tucked into, like, the lily is like a tubular kind of flower. And then it's it's going to be tucked down in there. So we want this shadow to be down there at the bottom. So for this, I'm using the Y027, and I'm just going to, work my way up. This one we know is already, hi Diana. Um, like this one sits like this, and in the um thing that the layering guide, they showed us that this is darker. So I am going to add the dark on this side of the bottom, and then on this side of the top. And that will help it to look like it's a little bit more three-dimensional. And then we're going to do our mid-tone for this one because we don't have as much real estate. We are working with just like a 3 color blend. So that's that. They probably are going to be similar colors. And then the lightest color, I'm going to flick that kind of down in to the other ones because we know that lightest color will lift some of that dark. Okay. Now let me grab my honeybee. And then I'm going to lay them there so I can see them. Do I like that? Nah, I think they should be darker. Okay. But that's how we know. This is back to, I'm sorry, I'm holding it. This is back to the darkest color. And I'm going to go up a little higher this time. And then I'm going to take the mid-tone. I'm going to skip that light color altogether. I'm going to go in with the mid-tone there. And now let's try it and see if we have enough. Okay, I do think I like that better. Go to your home. Quit giving me a hard time. Okay. So that, I do think that is better. All right, now, where did you come from? Anyway, you guys know we gotta measure 6,000 times, cut once. Oh, all right, so there's that. And then this fits in here like that. And okay. And I think that's okay. So maybe we had maybe we might add some little dots to give it a little bit more texture. Let's glue it while we're deciding. I wonder if we could. I'm just gonna look at the lily again. Blue, but it does. It does look like it has some dots. So I think we'll do that. I do think we'll do that. Okay. Let me get my glue going. Come on, friend. There we go. Okay. I do like to hold them in my hand to make sure that I'm getting them lined up. Now, so you can see how much, like, we talked about how the Olos are a little bit juicier, like how it just absorbs right through the paper. And again, I do find I have better luck if I just hold them in my hand so that I can move the layers around and get them where I want them to be. Here, I can see just a little smidge of white. I want to make sure that that is nice and dark. Okay. Anne, what is your question? Are you switching? Am I switching to Olos? Is that maybe your question? Okay. And again, I can see just that little thing, which maybe wouldn't be a big deal, but we just want to be sure. We don't want any little. Yeah, I'm not. I have both of them, and I like both of them. The reason that I still use the Copics more often has nothing to do with quality. Quite honestly, it has to do with convenience. Because I've used my Copics for so many years, I know what my go-to color combinations are, and I'm just faster with them. Um, I'm just faster with coming up with my color combinations for the Copics, which is why I still reach for them. It's a comfort zone thing, but the Olos still work great. All right, so now that we have this all put together, let's maybe add some dimension, some details. This is the darkest color, and I'm just going to go in and do a little series of dots just to add a little something. And you barely, because especially since they're so juicy, you just barely want to be touching the surface. I am going to try to get in between here because I don't want it to be like, that it's not cohesive throughout the whole petal. Same thing here. And then even down here, we'll put just a few. They You know, this is up higher on the petal, so it's not going to have as many. Okay. I feel like this should be a smidge higher. There we go. I do like that better. And then I think we're also maybe going to do some white gel pen because, well, because I like it, but also because I do think that it adds quite a bit of dimension. You know, when you have that little bit of highlight, I just have to find the one I'm looking for. I have so many and I need to go through them and just get like rid of the ones that I don't use. Um, but you know, that would take time and forethought. And I am not a proponent of either one of those things. All right, finally found it. Okay. I am going to uh, add a little bit of, is this clear? I think this is clear. Shimmer. Because sometimes if you do the shimmer after you do the white gel pen, you can kind of pick it up and smear it. So I do try to remember to do this first. And then I think I'm going to just do right along here and here, like that. You could also do dots of white. I'm not willing to commit to that yet until we see it all come together. But so far, I think I'm pretty happy with that. So then let's do, I don't think we're going to do the palms and the leaves today because we're already at an hour since I was ill prepared. But I do think we'll be able to fit in the side view. Okay, so there is no yellow in this one. Did my alcohol, it might have dissipated already. You know how quick it evaporates. I just don't want to pick up that yellow with the blue violet, especially since they're complementary colors. It will not be pretty. It will not be pretty. You guys are so kind in the comments. Thank you so much. All right. I get all 3 pieces. What am I doing? I'm being crazy. So I do think what I will probably do before the next live is see, if I was smart, I would have started this 2 weeks ago. But we'll have to figure out our timeline when it comes to making like holiday projects. Because like when we revisit this next week, Easter will have come and gone. So, oh, bye, Brandon. Thanks for stopping by. All right, so we're gonna mark our shadows on both ones. Okay, there we go. And now we're gonna go in. This is our darkest color. Right across here. Yeah. This part will definitely be dark, dark, dark. We'll do a little that way as well, just to give it a little dimension. So definitely this like deep V section, definitely dark. And then for this part out here, I'm just going to kind of ride the edge with the marker. You know what, I am going to go all the way up. Well, most of the way. I'm not going to go all the way over, but I am going to go there. Okay. And then, no, Bonnie, it doesn't matter which one you're watching on. We decided to put them on both just to make sure because not everybody follows both. So that way, if it was, people who had subscribed to me that wanted to make sure they could see the live, or, people who over the years have subscribed to Honeybee. I know for some of them, uh, I'm still new because we're always getting new people all the time into this wonderful hobby. And I love that. All right, I'm gonna add just a little bit more of the mid-tone because we would definitely want to save enough for our highlight because this is the lightest one, but we want them to work together as well. And this is our light mid-tone. I'm just going to take that right up the centers here. Remember, we talked about how sometimes with our light mid-tone, that's when you start to see the sections kind of connecting. And then we're going to leave just the littlest edge for uh, that highlight color. Okay. And I think we're probably going to want to remember we got to color the edges in. So I think I'm just going to go with this light mid-tone. That seems to be the one that makes the most sense. Oh, well, that's so nice. Thank you, Simone. Make sure you tell your husband that I said thank you so much. It was very kind of him. Um, Melissa, you are also very, very kind. Thank you. There are still plenty of people who don't know me. Not everybody likes to color, and that's cool. We all got different talents, but I do love that you're recommending people. I thank you. Okay, and this is the lightest color. And again, we're just going to make sure we go over everything so that it gets they're mixing in there the way that we want them to. I'm not taking this all the way down because I do want that to stay pretty dark. Um, but if you do and you find that it's too much, it's gotten rid of too much dark, then no sweat, you can always add it back in. Okay. Alrighty. And then this one, we will double check again. Okay. And I think remember what I just told you where I was like, hey, if you want it to be darker, and I do want it to be darker, I'm going to add this back in. I know the dark colors are scary, but like you really need them to make sure that you have that contrast for the dimension. Okay. So now I think we can probably go ahead and glue it, and then we'll put in our little dots. So, and then I think um, we're just over an hour. So I think that's going to be it for us today. Like the cup, you know what I mean? We'll look at them put together with their little details. Um, and then I think next week we will do, well, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'll probably try to do a little bit more prep work. Um, yeah, but Susan, I totally get that. We in my household, not like not my home, but like at my mom's. Lilies, she equates them to funeral flowers. So she's like, don't, no lilies, absolutely no lilies. Um, which I get. They are often they are oftentimes sent. Um, so I understand where she's coming from, but they are beautiful. Okay, so I just wanted to get that lighter color, and then we're going to do the same here. We're only seeing the side, so we wouldn't see those little, speckly bits necessarily, but we want them to be matchy-matchy. So even though in real life you probably wouldn't see them there, we're going to put them there. All right, so here are our little um, lilies. We'll have to figure out what color we want to do the leaves and stuff. Um, but I think they came out good. Definitely very different for us. So, Lisa, can you pick me a winner and I will put them up on the screen. Let me bring myself back here. Okay. So, I think they came out cute. Definitely different. I've never done them that way. Lisa is going to pull us a little winner and then I will um put that up on the screen as well as the customer care email, which is where you'll want to send them. You'll send the email to get your prize. That's what I'm trying to say. Um, Geraniums belong in the cemetery. That's interesting. I don't think I've ever heard that before. Geraniums. Thank you guys so much for coming. I do appreciate you spending your time with me. I know your time is precious. So just wait for Lisa to show me a winner, or I can pick it if she wants me to. That would be fine as well. Or did she leave? She might have. No, she's still in here. So hopefully she. Oh, there it is right there. E. Matthews, you are the winner. Congratulations. So let's make sure we are sending the email to customer care at honeybeestamps.com. That's where you will get your information for how to get your prize. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I appreciate your time. And I will catch you on the next live or the next video. It depends on, I guess, which one you show up to. All right. Thank you guys so much. I will see you later. Bye.